Natasha, tell us about what you wanted to achieve in your life prior to getting forced into an arranged marriage.
Well, I always dreamed to become a qualified Malay language teacher, and I always hope to pursue Bahasa Malaysia in the teaching academy in UPSI, Tanjung Maling lah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to be an effective secondary educator.
You always wanted to be a,
Secondary educator. I like to teach children in sekolah menengah.
okay, so you wanted to be a teacher.
Mm.
You were 20 years old when your mother arranged this marriage for you. You knew you weren't ready for marriage, but what was your family's reaction when you told them that you didn't want to get married?
Um, it was really hard. They were not very happy about it. So everything starts from when my grandfather was very ill, and just before he died, he made a promise and a will that one of his grandchildren should be married to another family for better family relations. I actually never met my husband before, but I have a brief encounter with him at a common cousin's wedding. I did not speak to him at all at the counter. At the time I was only from six, and I just went there just to show respect because it's my family. Yeah, and from that onwards, they tried to match make me with him. So I remember that time when my sister came back from um, KL to Sabah for the elections. Her husband actually asked me, how much was the marriage dowry if I were to marry his younger brother? So I felt very upset and I rejected this idea instantly at that time. Well, because I didn't know him, I was very young and I really want to pursue my dream. So, but unfortunately, this candidate, he showered my family with a lot of gifts. My mother took a liking to him. That time when I went to Shah Alam during October 2019, I went there to look after my sister's son. So they actually forced me to meet him to go out. I tried to reject, but at the end, I need to give in during December. So that day, I remember that my family asked me when I came home at night whether I have seen the ring. Yeah, it still upsets to me until today lah. But I I was forced to join marital course. They kept reminding me to prepare myself for the wedding. I was really, really upset. I didn't want to marry him at all because he was so much more older than me. And my friends always see me crying at night, stressing out. Yeah, they know how unhappy I was. At the end, my family actually gang up on me and refused to communicate with me because I kept expressing that I did not want this arrangement. It was really, really hard. And eventually, I got married on the 14th in March 2020 against my will. I resented him so much that I actually refused to sleep on the marital bed. Yeah.
Mm. What happened when you refused?
Mm, so that time I was very sad and disappointed. I remember on the fifth day of my marriage, the physical abuse started. So he pushed me against the wall. He strangled me. He pushed my chest against the wall really, really hard. And since then, I avoided being in the same room as him. I feel so uncomfortable in the house. I felt like a stranger. I try to avoid him as much as I can also. And after MCO, I was forced to follow my husband back to KL. And after all this abuse, I ran away to stay with my sister, who was also in Shah Alam. But my mother actually coaxed me to return to the marital house. So that time she promised me, saying that all things will go well. He will not physically abuse me again lah. Yeah, but turns out it was a lie. They actually just want to track me back to him. So that very night when I returned, I was thrown against the wall. My clothes was torn. I had bruises. I was scratched till I bled. Was it was really scary. My mother actually came into the room. She saw me.
Your
She
mother
saw,
was there in KL in the marital home.
yeah, she followed me back to the marital home and she asked me to go back when I ran away. And she actually witnessed how my husband had abused me. The moment I actually believed in them and I came back, she didn't say anything. She just stepped out of the room quietly. He didn't even bother to save me. Yeah.
She was
So
actually there in the middle of when you were getting abused. She actually walked in on it and she left the room.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
so
So
sorry.
yeah. And later on that day I just ran away again. I ran away to my cousin's house at Sentu, and it was my cousin that took me to the police station and make the police report. Yeah.
So basically, you reached out to your family when the abuse had sort of started. They
Mm,
lied to you to get you back into the home. But you managed to find another family member who was going to help you out. This was your cousin, and your cousin took you to the police station to make a report.
yes.
How did that happen? How did that go?
So I went at midnight, but the next day, apparently the IO called me to recheck my police report. It was advised by my mother, apparently. My mother told me not to tell anyone about the incident. She was not supportive at all. So I was very hurt. I I don't feel safe. And at that point, I remember that my friend actually told me about uh, a women organization that can help me. So I Googled and I found WAO. I find the number through their website. I reached out to them and they actually advised me on my case. They plan the safety planning with me and I just tell them I want to escape from the situation. They guide me through and rescue me at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. So
Can
that
I
time,
just can I just stop you there just for one
yeah,
second and just ask you if we could just go back to police station. So you'd been trying to run away. You did again after that most
mm,
horrific abuse where your mom was there, and your
mm,
cousin took you to the police station. So after making the police report, did you then go back to your cousin's house, or did you have to go back to your house? Like what happened there?
I went back to my cousin's house. I don't dare to go back to that marital home at all. Yeah, so it was a very hectic night. So immediately when I was physically abused, I ran away again on midnight to find my cousin. She immediately brought me to the police station.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the investigation started and my mother know about it. So the next day, the IO called me and asked me to retract the report. Yeah, they just told me
Retract
is
the report.
Why did the IO call you the next day to tell you to retract the report?
because they say this is family issues. If you can settle under the table, yeah. So they just kept asking me to retract the report.
Did you?
No,
Okay. No, just
yeah,
asking. Yeah. So
no.
you're with your cousin at this time, and they've
Mm.
asked you over and over again to retract the report. Did you feel unsafe because of all of that was happening?
Yes, I felt unsafe. I felt so uncomfortable. But luckily, I managed to call WAO, their hotline. Oh, they have a new number right now, and they actually helped me a lot. So the social worker reassured me that they planned the safety planning for me. They told me that it was not my fault. It helps me a lot. Yeah, and eventually they guide me throughout the rescue. With them, keep on being on the phone to help me. It really helps me. Yes.
And at what point, I mean, there was the information that you had to jump off a balcony in order to get away.
Yeah.
Was that from your cousin's house or was that from your marital home?
It was from my marital home because remember that I need to escape from my marital home again to find my cousin.
Right. Okay. So you
Yeah.
jumped from the balcony of your
Mm,
marital home to escape to get to your cousin's house.
mm,
How,
yes.
if you don't mind me asking, but how high was it? Quite high, the balcony?
It was on the first floor. Yeah, but because that's the only way for me to escape, so I have no choice. I really need to save myself. Yeah, that's why just I just jump. I
And
need
how,
to. Yeah.
right. And your cousin was there waiting for you.
Mm, luckily,
And what
she helped me.
shape were you in at that stage after being beaten black and blue and scratched in such a awful way, and then having to jump off a first floor balcony? I mean, what state were you in by the time you got to your cousin?
I can't really remember because all in my head was I know that I need to escape. And I know that if I don't escape, I will suffer more injuries. So I just jumped. And the next few days, my toe is fractured.
Oh
But
gosh.
eh, I'm glad that I did make that choice and
Okay.
jump to escape.
Hmm. So, what is your relationship like today with your mother? Are you on talking terms?
Well, I refuse to have relations with them because every time when I try to communicate with them, they will always try to trap me back into returning with my husband. So end up, I just stopped talking to them. And eventually, they actually say that they will kill me if they saw me on the road because I have brought shame to the family. So if it really hurts, yeah. And I can see, although they try to win my trust, but I know what they really want,
Hmm.
and I try to be careful this time because they have betrayed me before. The trust has broken.
So, your cousins on your side, what about your sister?
She helps me by giving me a place to stay, but due to her situation, she can't really help me more than that.
Right.
That's your
Yeah,
cousin, though.
that's my cousin.
And what about
Yeah,
your sister? Is your sister helpful quietly for you, or is she like, in a situation with the rest of your family where they're not really thinking about you?
yeah. So everyone in the family just thought that I brought shame
Mm.
because I didn't follow my grandfather's view. I'm I'm not the one that listens to instructions.
So
Yeah,
you're seen as the problem, really, not the guy who's beating up somebody half his age and half his size. That's not the problem. They are seeing you as the problem, as breaking a promise to granddad. Is that right?
yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately,
I'm awfully sorry that this has happened to you. Um, but I do know that you're in a much better place where you are right now.
yeah. I'm glad that WO helped me. So they provide me shelter and actually helped me. After that, they taught me how to be independent. I learned a lot of skills, and now I'm on my own feet again.
Mhm. Are
Mm.
you thinking of going back to training as a teacher? Is that still a dream that you hold?
Yeah, I really want to pursue my dream if I have the opportunity. But right now, I really need to earn some money, feed myself, take care of myself first.
And what happened with your relationship with your husband? Are you divorced? Is he still hunting for you? What's going on there?
The divorce is currently in the process. So they actually try to find me before. They post the missing person notice on Facebook. Yeah, but I stopped contacting them. I blocked them. I try my best to just get away from them.
Mhm.
But how are you doing this divorce though? I mean, are you alone? How do you get your lawyer together?
Oh, my social worker helps me.
Uh,
So
Yeah.
WAO is basically helping you with all the sort of the league, everything from the legal work to just helping you get back on your feet again and heal your body.
Yes, they help me a lot. They actually send me to the hospital when my toes are fractured, and they provide me shelter and food when I'm ready.
Mhm.
They taught me skills. They helped me, guide me to find a job and find a place for me to stay. And now I think I'm on the route to recovery.
Mhm.
Mm.
In light of everything that's happened, um, how do you view marriage today?
Mm, actually still do believe in the institution of marriage actually, but I know marriage is not for me now. I am not ready for such a commitment and responsibility, and I still haven't met the right partner. So maybe in 5 to 6 years' time, after I have achieved my dream.
Would you say
Yeah.
that how you feel now, not being ready, not meeting the right person, and not having achieved your dreams yet, is very much the old you before you were forced into this nightmare? You know, the old Natasha who was saying, no, I'm not ready. I want to achieve my dreams first. I haven't met the right person. Would you say it's
Mm, I want to focus on myself first because have a long way to go. I've been in Sabah all my life, and finally I have a chance to act on my own, make my own choices. I want to explore more first, learn about myself, and then eventually, when I'm ready, the time is ready,
Mm.
I'll meet someone that is okay, good, and then we'll see how.
but when you meet someone, do you automatically go, "Is he going to hurt me?" Is that running through your mind?
Mm, yeah, there are definitely doubts because I have trauma, but I hope that when the time is right, the person is right, and I'm fully recovered, this would just be a small challenge.
okay? So you do believe in the institution of marriage, but what do you feel about arranged marriages?
Mm, I would prefer a love marriage actually. I don't think I will subjected to an arranged marriage again
Mhm.
because I believe that the choice should always be made by each individual. There should be no force or no expectation from any party. I actually hope that the freedom of choice to be given to us women because we are the one being married. So I
Mhm.
want to make that choice. And because we should be given the opportunity to decide on our future
Mhm.
and also be empowered to make the choice.
So, if I could ask you this, arranged marriages are a massive part of Asian culture, but
Mm.
in marriages, forced marriages like yours, where it went terribly wrong, what needs to change to ensure the safety of everyone involved? What should have happened?
I really hope people can listen to our own voice because marriage is just a big part of our life. We have the say. We should have the right to decide who we want to be when we are getting married, and future choices is up to us. Yeah.
And if you could give a message to your mother and father about how you wished they had handled this, what would you say? What would you say to your mom?
Mm, actually, I have nothing to say to her because I don't think any words will get into her mind. But if I really get the chance, I just hope that she listens to me. Just think of me be in my shoes. Yeah, listens to me.
So would you say then that, parents of young adults who are, what's the right word, entering into the idea of an arranged marriage, parents can help so much more if they listen and actually step in and be a part of the actual arranged marriage and keeping everyone safe?
Yes, instead of them making the choice for us, I really hope that they see us as an individual, letting us make the decision, make the choice, because it's me who is getting married, not them.
Okay. Now, in general, if you had a friend coming to you and saying that her family has pushed her into an arranged marriage, what would you say to her?
I will tell her to listen to her own voice, whether she wants it or not. If she's okay with it, then it's a choice. If she doesn't want to be married, need to stay out. If not, escape. Because I'm a good example that things will go wrong.
Mm.
Do you think laws are enough to protect women like yourself from arranged marriages who have gone through abuse? Do you think it's enough right now? Do you think it needs to change?
Mm, so from my experience with the IO, I think people really need to understand what has really happened. They really need to think how to protect us women, because imagine me being physically abused, the IO still calls me and asks me to retract the report.
Yeah.
The law is definitely not on my side, even though I'm being physically brutal.
Mm. You're absolutely right.